I think I've cooked it on the internet before, but I've just been making chicken chasseur a whole lot at home lately. French-style hunter's chicken. And I just think it's an almost ideal fancy home-cooked meal. Here's how I am making it lately. I've got a secret ingredient that might offend the frogs, don't tell them. Traditionally, you use skin-on chicken pieces. Buy them already cut up if you can, but I'm just going to cut up this 4-pound, 2-kilo chicken myself. My way is neither quick nor elegant, but it's easy. Cut that skin between the leg quarter and the body, and then I dangle the chicken by the drumstick. The tension opens up the hip joint and makes it easy to slice right through. Once it's off, I'll separate the drum from the thigh, slice behind the knee there, and then I just pick it up and crack it open. Dislocate the joint so you can slice the rest of the way through. You could cook the thighs whole, but I'm going to debone them. Just go down the length of the femur and open everything up. Get under the bone with your knife, and then it doesn't have to be pretty, just get the bone out of there. To make the breasts easier, I'll make a couple slits on each side of the wishbone, reach in there, dig around, and just lever the whole thing out like that. Start at the apex and peel the meat off a little at a time, following the rib cage with your knife. When I get down to the shoulder joint, I just crack it open so I can get through with my knife, and there, that's a breast with wing. Save the carcass. I'll need a heavier knife for this part. Just to fancy up the legs, I'll go straight down to the bone, just below the meaty part, circumnavigate that whole tibia there, and then scrape down to the ankle, which I will finally remove by just popping through the bone. A little smack on the spine of the knife gets you through. Those will cook up real pretty. With the wings, I want to remove everything below the humerus, so I dislocate the elbow and cut through. A boneless, skinless breast with the drumette attached makes a very pretty presentation. They call it an airline breast. There's the meat, but you could cut it up much more crudely or buy pre-cut pieces. All these scraps I will freeze to make stock later because I am now one of those people. Enough pepper and salt to season both sides. I'm leaving extra on the board for the other side. And this is a good amount of flour, enough to coat the chicken and thicken the sauce. Toss to coat everything. There we go. They look like little pillows, little clouds. Like the cloud I sleep on, a premium mattress in a box from Helix Sleep, sponsor of this video. Hey, March is National Sleep Awareness Month. I don't know about you, but I've struggled with my sleep my entire adult life for a number of reasons, and I've found out the hard way how crucial sleep is. If you're not getting your recommended 7 to 9 hours, you're at greater risk of heart disease, obesity, depression. In contrast, getting lots of good sleep basically turns you into a superhuman version of yourself. It increases your reaction time, cognition, memory, overall health. It's amazing. And the easiest way to make sure that you're getting good sleep is to have something good to sleep on, like a Helix mattress, like this one. A good new mattress is going to help get your spine into a neutral position. It's going to help you sleep longer because you're going to have less pain waking you up in the night. Also, a new mattress is going to be clear of allergens and things like that that can also aggravate your sleep. You know, I'm heavier than I look. I'm about 215, and with a bigger, heavier body, it's amazing how much my Helix mattresses have improved my sleep. I just sink in and everything is kind of supported and in the right spot, and I'm able to have deeper sleep that helps me neurologically. Just follow my link in the description and take the Helix quiz. Tell them if you're big, tall, small, whatever you got going on and how you sleep. They'll recommend a mattress exactly for your body. And one of the great things about Helix is they give you a 120-night guarantee. So you get to sleep on it for a long time to make sure it's the right one for you. They'll ship it to you free in the United States. It comes in a box, which is amazing. You can just carry it into the room yourself and pop it open and release the vacuum seal. Helix has a Sleep Week sale going on right now, 27% off site-wide at helixsleep.com/Ragusia. That's an exclusive partner offer during Sleep Week. helixsleep.com/Ragusia, or hit that QR code for 27% off. Thank you, Helix. Anyway, a good coating of olive oil in my widest pan, or render some bacon in there if you want. I'll lay the chicken skin side down. My heat is very high because there's a lot of mass in here cooling it back down again. Real quick, I can slice up some mushrooms. Yes, the board is still dirty, but all of the stuff is going to get cooked, and I want this extra couple tablespoons of flour for thickening. A couple of carrots sliced into thin rounds, and then I'll do a real quick chop on a shallot. That's it. Is the chicken ready to flip? It releases real easy from the bottom of the pan, so probably. Man, that is a beautiful color from that flour. Plus, that flour will help the chicken kind of merge with the sauce later. Brown the other side. Don't worry about cooking the meat all the way through yet. Just stop before the stuff at the bottom of the pan starts to burn, because that would ruin the sauce. Take the chicken out to a plate or something, and then I'm just going to put all these veggies in at once with the flour. It's amazing how well they all cook together. If you give it some extra olive oil or butter or something, the mushrooms and the flour will suck up a lot. Just get a little color, look for the mushrooms to shrink by about half, and that's all the head start this stuff needs. Time to deglaze, and lately I'm using dry vermouth for this. You could use normal white wine, but the fortified wine just has a lot more taste to it, and I think this dish can sometimes be a little bland. It just needs an extra boost the vermouth provides. Even the dry stuff is still pretty sweet tasting, which brings a lot to the dish. That's like a whole glass of vermouth. Once the bottom of the pan is clean, I'll throw the chicken back in, and the rest of the liquid is going to be my secret ingredient, V8 juice, or equivalent. Tomato juice with other vegetable flavors in it. This stuff makes a fantastic sauce base, and I don't care if anyone thinks it's a cheat. Bring it like 2/3 of the way up the chicken. You could use a can of pureed tomatoes or something, but tomato juice has had the fibers strained out, and I love the smooth, glossy finish that gives you in the final sauce. Plus, the flavor of the V8 is a lot more complex. I'm throwing a few ice cubes of my homemade demi-glace. If I didn't have that, I would use a concentrated stock product, like twice this much, but just be aware it's very salty, so you probably won't need any more salt in the sauce. Get that simmering, and you could cook it until the chicken is like just done inside, maybe a half hour, or you could keep going and really soften it. I like it just a little soft these days. I don't want it falling apart. Flip the chicken a few times or cover it with a lid to make sure that the top side gets cooked. Boil some egg noodles toward the end. I think I simmered this chicken a little over an hour. When I poke the dark meat with my finger, I can just start to feel the different muscles pulling apart from each other. That's the right softness for me. We'll still need a fork and knife, but not very much. I'll taste the sauce. Very intense because I did not use any water and I let it reduce the whole time with no lid. Needs a whole bunch more pepper, a little salt, some butter to finish the sauce. This makes it Frenchy. Tear in some parsley leaves or something, maybe a few sage leaves. Thyme would be great, but the big herb for me is tarragon, which tastes like floral licorice. I really associate tarragon with French bistro cooking, probably because I almost never see it anywhere else. I'll just shake that in, get that butter melting gently to preserve its emulsion, and right at the end, if you have a lemon around, a little squeeze of juice really freshens and brightens the whole dish. That is a classic restaurant trick for a reason. Works great, even in things that you think wouldn't taste well with lemon. Noodles on the side, here's a boneless thigh, and then check how nice that lollipop leg looks. Spoon a little sauce, and then that is a knockout of a dish that is just as good at home as it would be at the bistro. Sauce is super rich and complex, not bland at all, which is particularly important for the white meat, which doesn't taste like much. I do like the meaty texture you get from it, though, if you just barely start to soften it through braising. But my favorite part is probably the lolly leg.